I am joined by a former client of mine, Joe from the direct sales company. And we haven't checked in a while, but he messaged me to tell me some of the results that he's got based upon some of the coaching that's really helped him in his business. And I was like, dude, we have to jump on a call and like talk about the change in you and also talk about what it was like before we started working together, because a lot of people will be in that position, and find out like the reasons why and the catalyst. So where were you at with regard to your speaking skills, the impact you made when you spoke before we started working together? How would you describe that?
It's difficult to describe because you don't know what you don't know. So when you're creating content, I was doing what everyone's doing now, is saying like, you have to be out there. You have to be creating video content. You have to be engaging your prospects using video. You have to be sending looms, examples, case studies. Like video is a part of what we do now as like entrepreneurs. So I was putting out loads of content, but I've never really thought about upskilling the way I speak. And it was something that I'd always thought you just kind of did, like you just speak and you're either good at it or not. And up until I started working with you, and I think I saw one of your posts on Twitter talking about, I'd never even considered that speaking and presenting on video was a skill that you could enhance and work on. So it didn't make sense to me that we would split test 80 million different email campaigns, or I would compare a gadillion like cold call scripts and then not focus on another skill that could be improved, which
Mm-hmm.
was speaking skills. So that's when I first came to you, I think when I was doing a video, one of my VSLs.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
yeah, and it was, I just kind of went in with I must be pretty good. I'm in sales, like I should be decent at presenting. And face to face, I'm really confident in presenting. But what you forget is that video is a completely different skill and a completely different ball game. Just little things like I'm talking to you now and it looks like I'm talking to you. You feel you're looking into my eyes and I'm speaking to you directly, but I'm not. I'm not looking at your face on the screen. It's just because I was looking into the camera that you get that
Correct.
sense. And that's just one of the examples of the small details that make massive impact on how engaging your content is. I came to you to, I think I sent an example of my VSL and said, Steve, mate, just could you just take a look on the look at this and see what you think?
Mm-hmm.
And I hopped on the call with the expectation that you were going to pat me on the back and say, it's pretty good, Joe, actually, but you just need to upskill these bits here and do a little bit of tweaking. But it became evident very, very quickly how far off the mark I was in terms of making the most of the time that my prospects are spending with me when I'm speaking on screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've you've hit the nail on the head. Is that a lot of people's self perception? I think that goes two ways. Either people who have obviously you've been in the sales game, they think they're good, and then they get some feedback from, and they go, "Oh, maybe I'm not as good as I thought." Like with you, or some people think they're terrible, and a lot of times they are. So it was really interesting though how kind of open you were to the feedback once I said it, and like you said, you don't know what you don't know, but when I took you through the feedback second by second, I'm telling you, okay, there's no emotion on this bit. This sounds monotone, that kind of stuff. It's like this light bulb moment goes off in your head, and you go, right, this is something I need to sort out now, because I think a lot of people, they don't consider what's at stake if they deliver their communication, especially for what you're doing when you're, a lot of times it's pitching to prospects, that kind of stuff. If you don't capture that attention, they're going to switch off and you ain't going to have another chance to pitch them. What would you say the process was like working with me?
Okay, so I guess the first step was just going through, like you say, you don't know what you don't know. So it was going through, getting an example of how you present, looking at perhaps a video sales letter or Loom videos. Like most people are sending Loom videos to the prospects now. And then it's not the most comfortable because you've got to be open to improving yourself and getting better. Like we look to improve in all other areas, but our voice and how we come across is quite personal. So it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's breaking down why what you are doing currently is prohibiting you from getting exactly what you want out of your prospect and out of your engagement. if you are sending Loom videos and the presentation is subpar, it's like a crappy subject line in your email. You aren't going to get the audience on your content. So it doesn't matter how much you know your shit or how good your service is. If you can't convey that in a convincing way, then you aren't going to see any of the benefits for all of the other work that you've put into the content that you're actually sending across or showing your audience.
Yeah, spot on, mate. And you think how long that you spend on the pitch, collating that information together, making it personal, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And then the potential for you to sound like a monotone, boring fart, like people just aren't going to listen. Like you said, there's too much at stake. And a lot of people don't consider what's at stake if they don't nail their communication, because when the prospect hits that play button, they don't give a shit how many hours you've spent on it. They don't care about any of that. They want to be engaged, even if they don't know it. They want to have their attention captured, right? Because think about how much content people are watching nowadays. They're being bombarded with messages, and you come up with a monotone, boring voice, you don't capture their attention, they're going to switch off and you're done.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And you won't know when you've failed because you're presenting, because your prospect just won't get back to you. Like I speak a lot, like whether I'm doing sales training classes, I have to be engaging. And what I found is that I'm probably more engaging in those because I'm enthused about the topic, but you're not always creating content about stuff that you're really enthusiastic about.
True.
And it's those instances that you have to be able to turn on and make sure it's engaging. And it's not about being really enthusiastic or really over the top like the short form content for like a year like ago was. Obviously people want real content now, but that doesn't mean that you can get away with not being engaging. Even when you're delivering content in a more real world, like laid back scenario, you still have to engage your prospects. Otherwise they'll just ghost you.
Yeah. And nobody likes to be ghosted, right? It
No.
sucks. All right. So let's talk about now, like some of the results and where you feel improving your speaking skills has had an impact in the results. And I'll let you interpret what results is for you. So share how it's helped you.
So there's a number of different benefits. One is that I'm much more aware of how I'm speaking, and as a result, I'm not using like filler words as much. I used to say so, as quite frequently, and it was just because I was trying to find space to think and fill that gap. You come across much more credible when you just stop at the end. You're more succinct, and your point lands with more weight because you're not using filler words that are soaking up all of the attention of your prospects.
Yep.
So an indirect benefit for me was like, I just feel more confident when I'm presenting. I feel like I speak with more authority because I'm not using filler words, and I can hear myself come across in a much more authoritative tone. But then also we've got to the point now where if you can't get FaceTime with the prospects when you really want FaceTime, and I know that's a situation a lot of agency owners will find themselves in, I've got no problem now putting the majority of my content or proposal down on a Loom video and sending that across, because I know that because I'm delivering with conviction on video, that's automatically, it's going to translate and it is going to engage them and move the needle. The most recent deal we closed was over 72 grand, £72,000, or about $90,000 to $100,000. And we closed that pretty much on a Loom video. And that was just me talking through the proposal. The next call we got on, I would have never had the confidence to do that. Or if I had, like you say, it's a lot at stake, but I was super confident in the proposal. And I knew as long as I could get them to watch the video and engage them throughout, that I'd have a pretty good chance of winning it. So he sent a proposal across with me talking through, presenting like this on a Loom video. The next call we got on, I was about 10 minutes into the call. The CEO said, Joe, you've sold us. Look, what do we need to do to crack on from here?
Amazing. Amazing. So how many actual face-to-face calls had you had with them? Or was it just just the Loom video?
It's like, obviously it's a chunk of money. So we'd had 2 calls with them up to that point.
Yeah.
They were like more discovery calls. And then the proposal, it was one of those where they were like, and everyone will get this, like, just we're not going to jump on another call. Just send me the proposal. We've got a
Mm.
few to look at.
Yeah.
And I know that sending a proposal is probably like the least engaging thing because people just look at the main bit. You've got a lot of chances for the most important bits to get looked over.
Yes.
I wanted to control that dialogue. So put a Loom together using all the skills that you taught me about using different parts of my voice in different ways. When I wanted to emphasize something, how you can slow down and go a bit slower to make sure that it lands, using all elements of your voice, using all the skills that we've gone through
Yeah.
on just a few sessions. And as a result of that, it was enough to get them to the point where they're going to invest a significant amount of cash
Mm.
because of the confidence that we can deliver that was proposed to them via a video.
Amazing. And how long was that Loom video?
Uh, so it's like 12 minutes.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So that's, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be a really, really long video. I mean, some people might think 12 minutes is, but not when you're pitching for tens of thousands worth of, a deal. So,
No,
uh,
yeah.
so
And sorry, go on.
I know I love it, man. I'm really happy for you because you've just gone away and implemented consistently and you kind of living and breathing it. And this is a great example of utilizing it every day, every time you open your mouth and you end up getting results like this.
Yeah, it's amazing. And like I say, we used it so that the power of the voice and me presenting, we're just making sure that the key things came across in that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to read through the whole proposal because we had to send that away. I wanted to keep them really engaged and just focus on like the high leverage.
Yeah.
But it's something I know we'll be working together in future. It's just getting the time to dedicate, but it's very much, I had a huge boost in just a few sessions with you. And that got me to the point where I can like do that. But it's absolutely something that is a skill. And obviously, the more that you put into it, the more I can see it improving and the more revenue, essentially, because that's what it's doing. Like
Of course.
the more revenue that it's gonna generate for us on the back of being able to convey our ideas as efficiently and effectively as possible.
Love it, man. Love it. And what would you say to a business owner, an agency owner, an entrepreneur who is kind of thinking about kind of picking up the phone to me or sending me a message or saying, yeah, let's get rocking? What would you say?
So just think how much time your prospects spend speaking to you or viewing content with you speaking to camera. So if you've ever done any sales calls or discovery calls or sent a Loom video, have a think how many instances there are of that. And if you spend time doing 10 different variations of a sentence in a cold email to get a 0.1% increase in your open or reply rate, just think about how much time your prospects spend with you at the much higher end of the sales cycle where the money is, which is when you're speaking to them. If you're not delivering your message in a way that's going to engage your prospects, convince them, and build authority and credibility, then you are directly harming your ability to get to where you need to be by not focusing on what is a really high leverage skill, when most of the time that we're spending is going to be on camera, speaking to prospects, creating content, and they've got nothing else to judge whether you know your shit or just by other than how you come across on camera.
I got no words, mate. That's amazing. I love that. And I really like the idea and the comparison as, a lot of business owners will do the different headlines, the different ads, the multiple ads, this kind of stuff, whatever it is, just to test and tweak for a little bit of an increase in a percentage of conversion rate, right? Where this
Yeah.
can have a huge impact, right? And then, do you know what I love about this? These tools are going to stick with you for the rest of your entire life, your whole professional career and beyond that. That's why I love this stuff, because once you implement them, it makes a fundamental change with how you communicate at a core level. And then
100%. And it goes into so many different other areas. Like if you're communicating to your team, like you can get ideas across, you can motivate your team better. You're viewed as more confident outside of Zoom because you're speaking properly and you're holding yourself in a way which conveys confidence and authority. So we've just spoken about like revenue and how, as a sales professional, I think it's incredibly valued to as a revenue generation tool and a skill that you'd look at in terms of same light as copywriting or like sales process, anything like that. It's right up there as one of the high leverage skills for me. But then it also translates to every other aspect of your life.
Love it, man. Joe, really great catching up. I really appreciate you sharing your journey and the results. Amazing to hear the results. And yeah, let's do this in a year's time. And I want to hear how many more deals and revenue you've closed or just from the Loom videos and that kind of stuff. All right.
See if I can close one just via Loom.
Yeah, only Loom. That's it. No face-to-face calls.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So if you've got to the end of this video, thank you for watching. If you're thinking about, improving your speaking skills, just find me on social media, either connect with me on LinkedIn or Twitter, post a message under there, and go and have a look at the, what's the name of your company again?
The Direct Sales Company.
Direct Sales Company. Who do you work with?
Any B2B client, any B2B sales organization. So we help make sales teams better across any B2B sales cycle.
And they are bloody good at it. Cool. All right, mate. Joe, listen, lovely catching up, mate. And I'm really happy for you and the results you're getting. And we'll catch up soon.
Nice one. Speak to you later.
Bye.